Hello. I hope you all have had a wonderful weekend. I would like to show you one of the things I will be doing with you this semester. This is called Screencastify. This is a way I can record lessons with you and explain to you things you might not understand at home. This article this week is all about the history of science. Again, I've talked to you guys like that about this, and the students that have taken their pre-assessments, I've noticed that a lot of you know different facts about science, but most of the students don't know truly what science is and the origin of it. So if you look at the first sentence here, this is the definition of science. If you guys remember, this was the first question and the short answer of this pre-assessment. Science is a way of knowing and understanding the natural world that surrounds us. What do we mean by the natural world? That is everything from your bedroom to your house to the space and the stars in the sky. And as you can see here, if you read in this paragraph, it tells you that science goes back thousands and thousands of years ago, and many cultures have contributed to the advancements of science. Okay. Then you think about different ways to do science. What do we mean by doing science? I don't know if you guys realize it, but you do science every day. My 2-year-old son does science. If you ever look at a toddler in the playground, you'll realize that they're observing the older kids doing things all the time. So one of the biggest things we do is observations. We observe things all the time. We're looking around, and this is just part of us being a human being, observations. Also, too, another way of doing science is you don't have to perform an experiment every time. Another pre-assessment question that came up. You don't have to do experiments. You can observe things for years and still be doing science. And another thing that drives science is imagination and creativity. This is how our society advances, and that's why we have seen a technology boom within the last 10 years. Smartphones have blown up from 2007 to now. Smartphones, TVs, anything you can possibly think of has gotten better in over the last 10 years. That's Mrs. White talking in the background. I would be upset too if my iPhone blew up. Okay. Also, with doing science are using different tools. Depending on what you are studying, you're going to be using a different tool. A doctor is not going to use the same tool as a geologist, and a geologist is not going to use the same tool as a person who's studying the stars. So every science, depending on which branch you're in or what you are studying, it's going to use a completely different tool. That's what this paragraph is talking about. Speaking of those branches of science, there are 5 of them. All science fall within one of 5 branches. We have astronomy, which is the study of space, biology, the study of life. You did that last year in 6th grade. Chemistry, the study of chemicals. You'll be doing that in 8th grade. Physics is the study of movement, which we will be doing this year. And geology is the study of the earth. Different from geography that studies the people that live on earth. Geology is a study of earth, which we'll be studying this year. And within those 5 big branches, there are thousands, if not millions, of smaller branches that fall underneath those. The last 2 paragraphs really talks about science cannot answer every question. And a lot of that is because we may not have the technology available to answer the question, or there are some things that we cannot physically touch or physically see. This falls under that category called a pseudoscience or a false science because it pretends to be a science, but it really doesn't have the evidence to show that it's a true science. It uses beliefs and practices. If you look in this paragraph right here, this highlighted word, that have no scientific evidence to validate their findings. This is tricky because we start getting into fortune telling. And that is one of the big things called astrology. What I say, it's the study of stars. And that gets very shaky with the actual branch of science called astronomy. I'm not saying that astrology is isn't important, because to a lot of cultures, that is a very important aspect of science. Thank you, Mrs. White. Sorry, aspect of science. That's wrong. An important aspect of their culture. See, one downfall of doing a screencastify is it's live and it's raw. So I want you guys to understand that a pseudoscience is a false science, and it's different from the actual science. It does not fall within the first 5 branches of science. I hope you have enjoyed your first screencastify where I am talking to you about the lesson that you're going to be reading about. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to ask, and have a wonderful evening. And make sure that you fill out these notes as you go and make sure that they are correct, because we will go over these in class. Have a great day.